Hi, and welcome to this evening's show. We're going to talk about stage 7, today's individual time trial, and we'll take a brief look at tomorrow's stage 8. So, what happened today in the time trial? It was a story of the Big Four, and it wasn't without incident. It was a technical course which was run through some rural farmland areas, but it did go into some small villages, and that's where the technicalities came into it. There were a lot of turns down narrow streets with the corners of houses or road furniture presenting some serious hazards for the riders to negotiate. Trying to take those corners without scrubbing off too much speed, but also without getting into trouble and clipping something and causing an accident was the main challenge of the day. So how did it pan out? Well, Pogačar predicted that world time trial champion Remco Evenepoel would win today, and that's exactly what happened. But that wasn't without incident, and we'll come on to that in a second. The second place went to Pogačar, and he was, let's just check my notes here, 12 seconds behind Remco. Roglič took third place. He was 34 seconds down. It was an incredible ride from him. And Vingergaard, amazingly, again, still not 100%, has finished 37 seconds down. So fantastic effort from all around. You've got to remember that apart from Pogačar, 3 of those guys have been involved in quite serious accidents within the last couple of months and have had a period of rehabilitation and recovery. That has meant, to varying degrees, they have not been able to fully prepare for the Tour de France. Okay, what happened to Remco? What did I mean by that it wasn't without incident? 2K from the end, Remco sailing along, absolutely perfect, with his new time trial helmet from Specialized, which I'll come on to as well. And he immediately threw his arm up and started bouncing the back wheel off the floor as if the rear derailleur had jammed and he couldn't change gear. He immediately got back onto the bars with both hands and got back into the aero position and continued. In a post-race interview, he explained that he heard a loud pop and he thought he'd got a puncture. But he said it must have been something from the spectators, maybe someone dropped a glass or a bottle, but that's what it was. It was nothing to do with his bike. Anyway, whether that caused him any time loss was irrelevant because he won the stage and he's closed the gap on GC. Okay, so Pogačar was his flawless self. There was no issues with his ride. He looked far more comfortable of the 4 at the handling of the bike and the corners and the technicalities. I think where Remco has the advantage is he's just more of an aero package for time trialing. Roglič, incredible ride from him, was riding on the ragged edge the whole way. And Vingegaard, chapeau to him because, coming out of hospital recently and jumping into the toughest race in the world, it's just phenomenal what that guy's doing. All right, there was some technical advances and revelations for today's stage. So again, let me just check my notes here. Remco Evenepoel, as I alluded to, had a new helmet from Specialized, and the senior product manager was available to tell us that the helmet has been developed hand in hand with Remco for more than a year. It also has slight changes to it in as much as at the back of it, instead of it coming down to the lower neck of Remco, it has a notched cutout area. And what was explained was that it allows air that goes underneath and inside the helmet to be channeled out and present itself cleanly over the back of the rider. They claim that there's a definite time advantage, but they didn't quantify that for us. But he won, so who knows? Maybe it was all down to the helmet. What else did we see today? We saw both Pogačar and Vingergaard with new bikes. So Pogačar's bike has been said to be 1 second a kilometre quicker than the previous version that he had. 1 second a kilometre doesn't sound a lot, but on a 25-kilometre time trial, he would have loved to have won today by 25 seconds, that's for sure. And who knows, maybe that gap between Remco and him was smaller due to that bike. We'll never know that for sure, but that's the claim. Vingegaard had, I don't think it's a new frame, but there were some changes to it apparently. And one of the things that was changed was there is no yellow paint on that bike. And it was explained that because Vingegaard is such a light rider, any weight saving they can achieve, they will do to give him an easier job. So no yellow paint on Vingegaard's bike purely for weight saving. They've optimized some other areas of the bike which they didn't want to reveal details on, but they say it is lighter and it is marginally more aerodynamic. So that's great. That was it for the new kit that we saw. Let's take a look at the GC. Remco has closed the gap to 33 seconds and Vingegaard sits in third place at 1 minute 15. Roglič improved his position today on GC with that amazing ride he did. He has now moved up into fourth place on GC. All right, let's look at tomorrow's stage. We're going to look at this very briefly. Stage 8. Stage 8 is 183 kilometers long. There's 2,500 meters of total climbing. It's a hilly stage. It starts initially on a downhill, but the rest of it is all just undulating the whole way. I think potentially we could see a breakaway win this, and it could even be one of the fast men. So think of the types of guys that can get into a breakaway but have a sprint finish on them. So Mads Pedersen's, Wout van Aert's, people like that. And even though he's bandaged like a mummy at the moment from his 70-kilometre-an-hour accident 2 stages ago, I'm going to stick my neck out and put my money on Mads Pedersen for a potential win tomorrow. I think that guy has got the build and the stamina and the power to get himself over a route like today and a sprint finish. If he can get into a breakaway tomorrow, I think Mads Pedersen stands a very good chance of winning. But let me know down in the comments what you think. Tell me who you think is likely to win tomorrow. And also let us know if you think the time trial today panned out the way you thought it would. All right, that's it all for me today. Thank you very much for getting this far. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and share it far and wide to anyone that might be interested. Enjoy the stage tomorrow, and I'll catch up with you after that.